back, y'all.
Me too. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
So I remember I promised you guys that me and her promised you that we were going to do a video of the topic of reincarnation. Now, when we last talked, we were like, we were doing some Eazy-E conspiracies about his death, and I brought up the fact that his death and my birthday took place around 2 years and two days.
Right.
He died on March 26, 1995. I was born on March 28, 1997. All of a sudden, she just started talking about like, oh, maybe he could be reincarnated. He could be sitting with me in this very room right now.
Because of the fact that he has a lot of similarities to Eazy-E. He likes to wear the shades. He likes the long hair. He likes the black clothes. He also, kids of his age were listening to other types of music, and he actually liked the old school stuff. So sometimes you wonder, when people are born, like, where do they get that from? That some people are fascinated by another race or culture or religion, you know, or even the same sex sometimes. Other situations where little kids are so tiny, you wouldn't expect them to have feelings or get upset about something so simple, and sometimes they show this anger and this rage, and you're wondering like, yo, dude, this little dude just popped into the world. What can he be so angry about? You know, and sometimes you wonder, are these kids back from another life that they've had in the past? What do you think?
Well, I have actually researched a little bit about this topic, and it's actually very crazy to think like, these kids, like little kids, like we're in like kindergarten, just learning their ABCs, you know, just starting to learn new, more complex words. They apparently remember stuff from, you know, a long time ago, way before their time. When their parents, sometimes even before their parents were even born. And it is just like crazy to think like sometimes there were cases where the parents actually went to, you know, doctors or therapists, and they look up stuff and they found those accuracies in those children's, you know, stories and stuff, and they found accurate representations of the past. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to say whether it's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not.
It doesn't hurt to look up information and learn.
I just think it's very interesting how these similarities come up, and it's very fascinating how that could be a factor in our daily lives.
And there's been plenty of stories that have been documented of young children. There was one specifically where as soon as the little kid was able to start talking, he started telling people that he was murdered and that he was stabbed with an axe or hit with a hatchet or something. And he had a birthmark right in somewhere in his skull. And basically, he said he knew where he was buried, he knew who killed them, and he knew where the murder weapon was. They went and looked everything up, and it was a fact. They found the skull of the man, the whole body actually, the skeleton of the man where he was buried, and the weapon. And when the police officers went to the man's house to go arrest him for the crime which he did, which he was never convicted of, they were like, we're here to arrest you for the murder of such and such. And the guy was like, you know, he was already much older, you know, time has passed by. His face just turned white. He couldn't believe it. And they basically told him this little 4-year-old boy or whatever had told the story, and that's how they all found out what had happened. And he did get arrested for the murder, even though it was like a lifetime before, which was very amazing. And another story of a kid named James Laniger, I believe. You could definitely look these stories up. They're all over the internet. He started having nightmares of crashing in an airplane, and he was like, little man down, like yelling at this in the middle of the night. And they wondered why he had a fascination with like B-2 bombers and these old planes from like World War II and stuff. You know, if your kid's born in the 90s and the 2000s, what would they know about these old planes and stuff? Right. Anyways, he knew the names of the planes, and he was just so fascinated. He would always play with him, you know, with the little planes in the house and stuff. So he would have these memories, these nightmares would come back, and he felt like he was burning in the plane and this and that. And eventually more memories came to him where he was saying he was on a aircraft carrier called US Natoma Bay or something like that. He didn't remember specifically like the whole name like that, but he was telling his mom Natoma, None of them knew what this was. The father started getting suspicious, started investigating everything. And there was a guy, he was the only American who had died. He was shot down by the Japanese. His name was James as well. So in his past life, he was James. And when he came in this life, his name was James. And the similarities of the way they looked was unbelievable. This kid remembered the people who were in the military with him at the time, the planes that they flew, where his plane crashed and everything. Like, look this up, you would not believe it. You know, okay, people could say what, they're lying, he looked it up or studied about it. Who knows? You really don't know unless you know him personally. And this is written, it's out there, so you could look up the information yourself. And it's been with plenty of people, not just with those two young boys.
You said something about like, or I think it's like a thing where like the place where you have your birthmark, or like a very large birthmark,
yes,
is where
would be
you died in your past life, or how you died in your past life, how someone stabbed you or something.
That reminds me of this kid who was born and he had a lot of heart trouble. He had to have quite a few surgeries. He had trouble with his heart and lungs, and come to find out that he started remembering his past life. And he used to be a cop. And when he was a cop, he went to this one place. Once they investigated the whole thing and found out to be true, they then put two and two together and realized he was a cop who responded to a robbery or something, and he was shot like once or twice in his chest and he died. Like the kid who got killed with the axe, he got killed in the head. He had the birthmark exactly where they found the skull that had the scar in the head. So the same thing with the cop who got shot in the chest. The kid was born with heart and lung problems. Does that happen all the time? Probably not. But I've heard of a lot of circumstances where the birthmark was the old incident or the old, you know, disease or whatever that caused the person to die in the past life.
I think, well, my mom always points this out to me. Like, sometimes she used to, like, you know, fix my hair for, like, dandruff and stuff. Maybe that's too much information for you guys, but, like she always pointed out, like, I had a huge birthmark on the back of my neck. Could that potentially mean I may have had a past life and somebody may have been got stabbed in the back of their neck, and maybe I was once a very famous person and I probably got assassinated, like, in the back of my neck, like someone, maybe it was some sort of Greek philosopher, and, you know, someone stabbed me in the back of the neck, and when I was born they found a huge birthmark on the back of my neck.
I'm gonna show you the old James who died in the military in the plane crash, and the new James Laniger, the young man who was having the nightmares. Look at the resemblance of how similar.
There you go.
The new kid who was born looks so much like the guy in the past life. I mean, they took this kid out to sea in the boat of where his plane went down, and the kid was about 7 or 8 at the time. He started to cry. I mean, he remembered the wives of the other sailors or the other aircraft men that he used to fly with. It's like, if that ain't reincarnation, I don't know what is.
You could be reincarnated into just another person entirely. Like, it may not, you may be related or you may not be related. So it's very crazy to know, like.
Yeah, I heard another one of this woman who, I think she passed away during childbirth. Well, she was that was in India, and then she was reborn in another part of India, but she remembered the town. She remembered that she had a husband. She remembered that she had kids. She knew everybody's name, and they literally went to the town and they found the husband and they asked him about the wife and everything, and she died during child labor and all of that. Like, she remembered the other daughter's name. It was just crazy. There's been Americans too. Another woman named Mary, who she died giving birth to her child, and she had quite a few children. She was able to find those children as the new woman that she was. And usually they say that the people who reincarnate is like they never got to, I guess, live their full life. Like, some accident had happened that took them away, so I guess that's why they get like another chance to come back. But who knows if it's just from an accident, because there are people who get hypnotized and they take them back into many lifetimes, and they can see that they've been back many times. You can go get hypnotized by a hypnotist anytime. They're not gonna make you cluck like a chicken or bark like a dog. They really put you in this relaxed state, and they just start counting backwards, and they take you down, and there'd be like, now you're in this front door, it's the year 1875, or they won't even tell you the year. They'll tell you to walk through the door, and they'll tell you, where are you, what do you look like, look down at your hands, look at this and look at that. And the people, it could be a woman who's hypnotized. She'll look down at her hands and she'll say, I look like a man. I have man hands. I have big feet, whatever. And then they'll ask her questions like, well, who, are you married? Are you single? They'll give information, and they'll literally go back, and if they can find paperwork in the time, you know, you can't go back to the 1400s. All this thing is not written and saved, but you can go back to the early 1900s and look back if you did exist, if you did check in a certain hotel, or if you lived in a certain house. You can always go back to that time in that neighborhood, in that community, and you can probably look up in the library and the past stuff if you really existed in that time, or if that person in that name existed in that time.
It's a very like amazing
complicated
phenomenon. It's a complicated phenomenon, but it's one that's fascinating, and one that something that we may not be able to, you know, understand it. Like, I know when I brought up the fact that you know, me and Easy's, you know, our time is like kind of close. Like, he died 2 years and 2 days before I was born.
Yep.
And like, but I listen to all of the NWA songs. Like, I can like rap some of them by heart, like the whole song, and not get a single, a single lyric wrong. I dress like him sometimes, but there's only like a few similarities. Like, I'm not in a gang.
He don't sell drugs.
Yeah, I don't sell drugs. I don't mess with women. You know, like, I'm just me.
He's not straight out of Compton.
This is like a more, you know, calmer, more, you know,
mellow guy.
Yeah, that's from a very suburban town. That's not with nice people, and not a messed up city, or not really messed up.
And people believe that you're reincarnated because, you know, your soul has to learn and grow. So, you know, sometimes you may come in as a woman, so you can experience how it is to be a mother and go through childbirth and have a husband and all that stuff. And they say other times you may come as a man. And maybe that's why I feel like a lot of these kids, they're being born nowadays, like, they feel like they're born in the wrong body. And if they're male, they want to like cut their manhood off because they feel like, oh no, I'm supposed to be a girl. I'm supposed to be a girl. Like, where would they get that from?
Right.
You know, you can't say they're learning it from TV and cartoons and things like that. Yes, I know they're showing a lot of homosexuality.
They're showing it now because we're like used to it. We're getting into a new age and stuff, you know, quote unquote. But
because homosexuality, it's been around since forever. I mean, even in the animal kingdom, like, male lions try to do male lions, and then dolphins, I hear that female dolphins like to be together in couples, not male and female dolphin. I mean, I may be wrong, but you could look this stuff up. You will find what animals do like to be together. And anyway, if you look, like, when they showed the Bible and they would show like all the animals get into Noah's Ark boat, why do they show 2 lions with, you know, the head full of hair? Those are the males. So if they took 2 of everything, 1 male, 1 female, why would there be 2 male lions loading up on the Noah's Ark, you know? But anyways, that's the Bible right there. That's a whole nother video. And you can make plenty of videos talking about that. We'll get into that another time. There's a lot of people, there are a lot of people that fake their death, you know. Some of them have been caught.
Yeah.
Others haven't. Some people still believe that Tupac may be hiding somewhere. Supposedly, I heard the other day a video came out that Suge Knight is saying that Tupac is alive and he's in, I don't know, some weird country. No, not Cuba, now another place. Now they're saying Zimbabwe or some shit like that.
Zimbabwe.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't know. I think if Tupac was alive, he would have came out by now.
There's no reason for him to be hiding 20 plus years, you know?
Exactly. But the weirdest thing about him is, why would they make his statue that they made at his school? You know, that place where you can go learn Tupacology. Anyway, you go over there and there's like this statue that they made of him, but they made him look like he was in his 40s. Which it doesn't make any sense why they would make him look older unless they knew that that's what he looked at the time, you know. But reincarnation, I don't know, it's just a very complicated topic. I don't think we'll ever really know what's really going on, because there's so many worlds and there's so many dimensions and there's so many universes. There's billions of universes now, we know for a fact, through the Hubble telescope and NASA, you know. And do aliens exist? Hell yeah, I think they exist. We probably just can't see them because we're on another level, another vibrating level.
Right.
We're set up for the third dimension. So if we're not fourth or fifth or sixth dimensional beings, and there are fourth and sixth dimensional beings roaming around us right now, we can't see them. Maybe that's why they appear as orbs in our camera. If fifth and sixth and seventh dimensional beings are roaming around us, but we're only three-dimensional beings, we only gonna pick up other three-dimensional beings. If you're not tapping into their level, like, it ain't happening, you know what I'm saying? So what if when we do see like a shadowy figure pass by or something, that's one of those dimensional beings that we can't see at the moment because we're in this state. But once you pass away and your soul, like you're just back into the spirit realm, you can probably go to any realm from there on, you know. I guess it really depends on what level your soul is on, because I believe you have to go through a lot of lives and a lot of experiences, like, to understand. Like in this life, I never experienced losing a child, right? But what if in another life I did? And maybe in this life I came back and I said, no, I don't want to have any children because I don't ever want to experience that again. So they say that you plan your life, you pick your parents, and you come here and you decide, like, this is what I want to go through. So, I mean, sometimes you think when a child gets cancer, they're like 4 or 5 year old and they get cancer and they suffer and suffer and suffer. Even those little kids, like when you're at the hospital, they know they're dying. They be like, Mom, it's all good. Like, I'm gonna be in heaven. Like, don't even worry about me. I'm fine. Like, you're more traumatized and more upset that child's gonna die than they are. They already know their destiny. That was probably their mission, to come here to teach that mother maybe just love or just experience of losing a child. Maybe that was her choice to come into this world. Yeah, you don't remember it at the time because they wipe your memory clean when you start as a little baby. You starting brand spanking new skin, new flesh, new bones, new brain, new eyes, new everything. You know, maybe you do come into this life thinking, hey, I want to see what it's like to be a deformed child, and you come and you experience that. And maybe it's also to help and teach other people who are here on the earth. Like the doctors wouldn't learn how to operate on a child who doesn't, if they never had the condition, you know. Somebody has to come out with a heart murmur. Somebody has to have heart disease. Somebody has to come out with extra limbs so the doctors can learn how to remove those limbs. So everything in life, I believe, has a purpose and has a reason. I know it's so complicated, you really can't break it down, and it could take forever to talk about this, but we're talking about it
because we can.
So yeah, so anyways, if you like our video, please subscribe to Easy Austin. I'm going to be making my own page soon where I'll be talking about all different types of topics. I'm going to try to have some kind of, where I can interview people, you know, and we can talk on different topics and just throw back and forth ideas and rant and fight and not really fight, but just argue, like debate with friends. And we're going to talk about all different types of topics and, you know, just see how it goes. And anyone can leave questions, comments, and join into the conversation, and maybe I'll be on her channel. He definitely will be on my channel.
She can interview me like I'm a star, like I'm being interviewed on the Johnny Carson show.
I'll be like, Easy Austin, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like that.
But imagine that could actually happen one day. Like I could be interviewed by Conan O'Brien one day. You never know, or some other famous, you know, person, like maybe Jimmy Kimmel, or you know,
Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon.
That's funny. But anyway, that was our reincarnation video. I know we were kind of like just kind of all over the place rambling, but this is just a quick video we had to put together. It is more important for us to jot down some information next time, times, date, proof, you know. Yeah. Anyways, but like I said, James Laniger, look him up. And there's been a lot of other people. Oh, I think there was one of a young boy. For some reason, I don't know, he had this, like, I think he was a black woman that died in a fire in a building, like a hotel building or something like that. But for some reason, as a little kid, he kept saying he was a black woman and that his name was Latricia or something like that. Anyway, the mother was like, what the hell's going on? And she started investigating because as the kid got older, you know, when they first started 2 years old, they can't really talk much. They mumble a little bit. 3-year-old, 4-year-old. And I look at it like this: when a baby's born, that baby just dropped out of heaven. That baby just dropped out of the wherever we start from, creation, whatever. And what if, you know, just like you recycle aluminum and plastic, the souls get recycled. You know, you go back to heaven, you decide on a new life, you come back, you start over. Why would it be fair for God to just give you one life? And let's say you come here, you screw it up. That's it? It's over? You come down here, you sell drugs, you have sex with a few women, and then you get shot by some gangster, and then it's over? How is that fair? Is your soul gonna grow from just one experience? It just doesn't make sense. Right. So I believe in reincarnation, and so should you. Well, that's your opinion. You just decide yourself.
It's always up to you.
Yes, just do your research, do your study. You know, investigate. That's if this interests you. Because if it doesn't, then go learn about something else.
You know what? I know maybe some of my fellow classmates from philosophy may they might like this question. I actually might be able to put this down as a discussion question, because in my philosophy class we do all sorts of discussion questions. Like I put up the topic of, do we create our own fate, or are our fates predetermined? Exactly. Are our paths set for us, or do we create our own as we move and as we learn? And I was personally, for me, like, I believe we create our own destiny and our own, you know.
They do say that we have free will. So, but I think that certain things get put in your path, like that dude that goes, hey, do you want the red pill or do you want the blue pill? Right there you have a choice. You can say, I don't want no pill. You can come to a part into your life where you can decide, hey, are you going to do drugs, or you know that you're not going to do drugs, it's not good for you, and you keep down this road, you know? Or are you going to take that job? Are you going to try to succeed and try to become in the highest position level as possible at that job? Or are you just going to be the lame bag boy for the rest of your life, you know? Right. Or, you know, I don't know, anything. But sometimes, do you think that when an accident happens, that it was meant to happen?
Maybe that's the way.
I think everything's meant to happen in a way, because if certain things didn't happen, then it wouldn't get you to another situation.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're leaving to work, and you go outside and boom, you got a flat tire, and you're pissed off you got a flat tire. But what if that flat tire was gonna prevent you from being in that accident that you shouldn't have been, because the Lord has plans for you? That's
something I thought about, because like I remember, like I went to school one day and I had something in my tire. I was like, oh, maybe that's nothing. Even though my car sounded like a train, it would going through tracks and stuff. Then the thing came out, and then I heard like it was loud, like, you know, rubbing against the concrete on tar tires.
Oh yeah. What, and did you lose your wheel?
I lost the tire, yeah.
Wow.
And I pulled over in the middle of the road, and
the whole rubber just went flying off.
Not the rubber. It was just coming apart, tearing at the seams and stuff.
I thought you were grinding metal to cement. No. Oh yes, okay. But anyway, we did get off the reincarnation topic, but hey, this is YouTube, right? And it's our tube. We can do whatever we want. Easy Austin, signing off.
All right, and that is it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video, and go subscribe to her channel when she would you have one already, or are you
click a like? I will send him the link below to the channel that I have at the moment, and I'll be creating my new one shortly. Yes, the
link will be in the description below. Comment what your opinions on reincarnation are. What do you think? Like, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, like, why do you think it's not real? Why do you think it could be real? Why do you think you wish it was real? And who do you think you were in your past life?
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Adios.